In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a high converting pop-up form for your e-commerce store. I'm going to break down what makes a pop-up form work, and then I'm going to show you how to build one inside of Klaviyo from scratch. So let's just jump straight into it. So I just want to show you some results here from one of our client accounts. You can see we've got a mobile pop-up form and a desktop pop-up form here, both submitting well over 20% with a lot of views, so a lot of submits. So you know, these principles that I'm about to go over really do work. A lot of stores I look at, they're lucky to get over a 5% submit rate, and the difference it can make to your email marketing revenue is just astronomical. So yep, that's probably enough of that. So why are they essential for success? It just means that essentially all that money that you are spending on paid ads or however you're bringing traffic to your website, you need to have a way of capturing those leads and build trust, address any objections, and convert them into a customer that purchases from you from 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, etc. So yep, just some more results there. You can see it's just list growth, really, really good stuff. Okay, so let's go over some pop-up form mistakes before we get into what makes a good pop-up form. So this one here, straight away, at first glance, it looks like a good pop-up form. Good image, nice background, the offer's really clear, the 15% off stands out, but they are asking for so many inputs. They want your first name, last name, email, phone number, and date of birth all in one form. It's just far too much for a consumer. They are not going to want to enter all of that. You really only want to have one input. So this form will just not convert well at all. Another one here on desktop, you've got a micro commit, which is good, but the form size is too small. It's tiny in comparison to the whole of the screen. You want it to take up 50 to 75% of your screen. So a bit of work there. This one, the offer is just not clear. They've got the title as no spam, just the good stuff. But then they say, you know, save 10% on your discovery kit. Your offer should be the most clear thing. The 10% off the discount is what you want to have highlighted. So that should be the title. And as well, they are asking for too many inputs as well. You just want an email address, but another bad form. And then lastly, this one here, it's just too much text. It's just so much for people to read. No one wants to go through all of that. I don't even know what I'm getting from putting this email address is. Like, you've lost my interest. So too much. So here are some good examples of a pop-up form by Myo Master here. You can see the offer's really clear. It's a free gift with orders over £50. That's what jumps out at you first. The amount of text on here is very minimal, which is good. And they're only asking for an email address because that's all you need. And here are some mobile examples. We've got that micro commit there again, which is good for Surreal. And it's taken up a majority of the screen. Same for here for Magic Mind. The offer is really clear, just asking for the email and covering majority of the screen. So good stuff. So this is essentially the roadmap of what makes a good pop-up form. So we're going to go through the offer, the types of forms you can have. We've got my checklist, and then we're going to build one inside of Klaviyo and go over some final A/B tests that you can run. Okay, so number one is your offer. This is the most important thing. What is the offer of your pop-up form? So I've got some ideas of what you could start with. So you'll see it a lot. First thought is percentage off. So that's your 10% off, your 20%, which is normally really good for stores where the average order value is quite low. Because if your average order value is say £20, 10% off of £20 sounds like a lot more, even though it's only £2. So you want to go with that one in that scenario. Whereas the pound or dollar amount off, the physical amount off, if your average order value is £20, you wouldn't say get £2 off because it doesn't sound like a lot. But if your average order value for your store was £500, you might say I'll get £50 off because it sounds a lot more than 10%. So just something to keep in mind there. You could do a gift with a purchase. You could do free shipping or a digital download. Just a few ideas you could try. So you've got your types of forms that you could do. So you've got your classic form, which is those ones I've just shown you there. Just the 10% off, things like that. And then you've also got your mystery offer, so you could have a mystery discount and that they don't know until they open their email. You could do spin the wheel, where you can get a plugin on Shopify where they spin the wheel and you could get between 5% off and 25% off. A really good one now is a quiz, so you could have people answer a few questions before they get their discount. And this is great because you can learn about your customer as well and sort of segment them. So, if you're like a gym supplement brand, you could have the quiz as like, are you trying to gain muscle or cut fat? And then you would know from that data after they've got their discount, what sort of products to target to send to them. So that's another good idea. And then also the micro commit that I sort of showed earlier, which is where before you have the input to put the email address, you would just say you've got a discount, claim yes or no, sort of thing. And it just, micro commits are really good. It's something we use a lot because when people start something, they're more likely to finish it. So in almost all our pop-up forms, we have one of them, and I will build one of those in a bit. So checklist for success. So you can see the issues that I went through for those bad pop-up forms earlier. So just addressing all of those problems. It's one input per step. You do not need first name, last name, date of birth, and email address all in one step. It's just one. And to start, you want that to be email. You could do the SMS after if you wanted to, but mainly just focus on that one input. You want the forms to cover majority of the screen. Don't have a tiny little form on your screen, cover it. Keep it to 10 words or less and have the offer the most clear there. So just tell them they've got a discount. Do they want to claim it? You don't need to tell them that you're not going to spam them and blah, blah, blah. It's too much. Yeah, again, have the offer largest on the screen. Keep the time delay of the form appearing between 4 and 10 seconds. And then in the top corner where you've got the X to close the form, just hide that and then add in a close form option under the button, which again, I'll show you when I build it inside of Klaviyo. So let's actually jump into Klaviyo now and build a form together. Okay, so now that we're inside of Klaviyo, let's go ahead and build a pop-up form together. First thing you're going to want to do, come over here to sign up forms, hit that, and then we're going to go create form. And then from this list, I like to scroll down and I always like to grab this one here. First order discount, little backpack, green. So grab that one and then name it whatever you want. We're just going to call it, yeah, pop-up form. And then email subscriber list, we want it to go to our newsletter, and whatever your email list is, have it go to there. And we're going to hit create. And it's just brought in, that's our website, and we're just going to go to email opt-in just so we get the actual pop-up form. Teaser I actually delete, we don't want that because we're going to do a micro commit, so let's just delete that. So now we've got this form, so it's a good place to start. There's minimal text here, it's just asking for an email. Big button, you know, it's a good place to start, but it could obviously be a lot better. So we're going to work on this page and then we're going to make the micro commit. So first thing we're going to do is come over to styles here, and I just want to change the size of it. It's a bit too small for me, so I keep everything here the same, but I change this pixel size to 1500 and the height to 500, and that is a lot better for me. It's a lot bigger in size. That's sort of, I want it to cover more of the screen, so that looks good. So let's now add in an image. So we're going to hit replace. I've actually got some images in the library here, but you can add whatever image you want. I'm just going to build one for the brand represent. So we've added that one in there. You need to add alt text as it will complain at the end. So it doesn't matter what it is, just do that and go back. And here you've got the unlock 20% off your first order. That's fine. I normally like to change it as a good place to start to get 10% off. And then here, the whole sign up for special offers and updates, that's boring. So I'm just going to do when you drop your email below. Super simple there. And then you've got email, and then I would do, you can do unlock offer. That's not bad, but I'm actually going to change that to claim your discount because I just prefer that. And the button color, I'm going to keep it a bit more uniform and change to all black, and I'm going to round it a little bit because I think that'll look nicer. Let's try 25, maybe we'll do 20, maybe not, maybe we do 15. Actually, do you know what, let's go 0 and go pretty square on this one. Cool. Definitely don't want to have this by signing up you agree to email. We're just going to remove that. And here on this button, the whole no thanks, I would change that to no thanks, I'll pay full price, and we'll have it like that. And we're going to make this text a bit smaller. I don't want this to be like an obvious thing to press, so we're going to go 12 on the size. and we're then going to make it a light grey text, and we're not going to bold it. We'll do extra light, so it's still there, it's still clickable, it's just not as obvious. And then up here in this corner where this X is, we're actually going to hide it. So you've got it here, and you can actually drag this slider here, the opacity, all the way down to 0, so it's actually now hidden. So this is starting to look pretty good here. We're going to change this block padding so it's all a bit more closer together. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so this is a great place to start. That's where the opt-in will be. But we're actually now going to go ahead and clone this email opt-in, and we're going to make the micro commit. So micro commit, clone, and let's drag it in front because we want this to be beforehand. So now that we're here, we are going to change this to you've unlocked welcome discount. Let's make this text much smaller. Let's try 28. I really would like this to all fit on one row. So if I change that to 0 and 0, yeah. Let's make that 42. 40. Oh, actually, am I just being silly? And can it? Nope. Highlight that again. 36. There we go. So it's changed from there. You've unlocked our welcome discount. I'm going to make this text not bold. A little bit smaller. Let's go with 24. That looks much better. Remove that text. Obviously, we're not doing email here. It's just we sort of just want a yes or no. So you could leave it like that. You could do you've unlocked our welcome discount, claim your discount. I like to change this to click to reveal, and I will actually remove the button for no thanks, I'll pay full price there. It's on the next one. So you've unlocked our welcome discount, click to reveal. Got the image here. One more thing that I haven't actually done, which I will do now, is we're just going to add in the logo. So just above the text here, let's add in, let's go ahead, add in the represent logo, and we're going to compress it so that the load time is a lot better. There we go, there it is. I'm just going to change the block padding so it's a little bit lower, but that looks pretty good to me. Maybe actually we will change the top padding on this one to about 20, maybe we go 10, yeah, about 10, so that looks good. And we're going to add in, actually we are going to add in the logo again here. Compressed, we'll add that in. Block padding on the text, we'll change that to 10 again. Drop your email below. And let's just make sure all these buttons are going the right way. So click to reveal, show next step. Yep, that's exactly what we want. Email, obviously, of course, that's going to be submit and show next step, and that should be close form, perfect. And then we just want the success page, so we need to add in the image again, the compressed image, I should say. There it is, present, and we can do success. Check your inbox for your discount. And we will add in the logo once more. Success, check your inbox. And then we just want to add in a button to close form. So you could do, go to inbox, that's really good. Close form and close form. But that's going to be, I'm going to do close form, button, black, 0. So just checking through. So obviously this is just a really good base to start with. For your brand, your fonts, your colors, all things like that. But this is sort of the framework of what makes a high converting pop-up form. It follows all of those principles we've just gone over. Minimal text, one input per step. You know, we only want the email. Yeah, and then on the targeting and behavior, that's the last thing I didn't forget actually. So we don't want this show form immediately. We want it to do it on a set of rules. And all we want that rule is to be is after a time delay of start 5 seconds, start at 10, play around with it, but between the sort of 4 and 10 second range. I wouldn't worry about these when visitors are exiting the page because I don't think they're too accurate. Just do it on a time delay. So that's it for the desktop pop-up form. Okay, so now we've done the hard work there building the desktop pop-up form. Let's just go ahead and make the mobile version of that. So all we want to do is grab that form that we've just made and we're going to clone it. Can't seem to name it, but that's fine. We'll change it later. Clone that. Now that it's cloned, we'll go into it. And there's a few things that we want to change around. So we want to go to targeting and behavior. And we want to change this to mobile only for the devices. So I actually did forget this in building the desktop form. I had it on all devices, but you actually want to change that to desktop. So apologies for not doing that then, but I forgot. And now we're here, so it got rid of the image, which is, you don't need the image, it's too much for a little screen. This doesn't look great though, so there's only a couple things that we need to change. So we're going to go to styles, and this 1500 here, change that to 800. That looks a lot better. But that text, obviously, we just want to change and just play around with it until we kind of get where we want to be. It looks right there. There we go. You've unlocked it. We might be able to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. 38. It's playing around with it there. But yeah, so that fits on there. Nice. We'll go to this one. That looks great. That's perfect. Exactly how I would want it. And then I guess the success page is exactly the same. So that's all good there. That's your baseline for your forms. The mobile pop-up form is actually way more important than the desktop one. You're going to get so many more visitors visiting your site on mobile. Like 80% of your customers will come on mobile. So really sort of key principles there. So I hope that helps. Let's jump back into the form now and go over the last few things. So I hope you found that useful and you followed along, and now you've built yourself a form inside of Klaviyo. So you're ready to go. You're ready to make it live on your store. And now you want to do some A/B testing. You know, how can we optimize that form to be even better? So things you can test. Test doing a percentage off versus a pound or dollar amount off. As I sort of went over earlier, see which one works best for your store. Test the time delay. So have one form appear after 4 seconds and one appear after 10 seconds and see which converts better. Having the micro commit in and out and see which one is better. The size of the form, chances are the bigger the better. And then also the copy, so you could change things like, yeah, you've got 10% off or claim your 10% off. So a few things to try there. And so lastly here, that's everything you need to really know about pop-up forms. That's going to get you a really good place to start. I'm sure you'll get at least a 10% submission rate following all those key principles that I've shown you. But just to show you here, this is a couple of accounts that I work in, a couple of brands that I help run their email and SMS channel. And you can see the attributed revenue that we have coming from Klaviyo on both of these accounts is well over 30%. So a huge portion of these brands' businesses are coming from email, and it's all the work that I've done from I build up their entire automated flow systems, I run their campaigns, I'm optimizing their pop-up forms, all things like that, keeping the deliverability in check. So if you've got through this video and you're still struggling with your email and SMS, or you just want some advice on what to do and where to go, please just go ahead and book a call in. It'll be the first link in the description, and I'll give you a free audit of your entire account, and I will build you a pop-up form for completely free as well, for just thanking you for watching the video all the way to the end. So yeah, the first link will be in the description, or it's also here on the form if you've grabbed it. So thank you very much. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.